We're live. Hi,
Okay.
everybody. Nicole here with Subotics and Repairs First. Congratulations to me for that. So we are here talking about the Gadget Repair Expo, but we also have some amazing topics. So we're going to talk about front of house, back of house, sales and operations, and I have some amazing people with us. There's going to be some more people hopping on here in a minute. So I think we'll start by going around the room and let everybody introduce themselves while we wait for everybody to jump on.
I start myself. This is Ahmed Abu Sharbain. I am the CEO of Upluck Digital Social Media Marketing. I'm here to talk about sales and branding and marketing and all the stuff to help you guys. Thank you.
What's going on, fellow nerds? My name is Marquivas Kinney. I'm the founding CEO of Nerd It Now, where we focus on creating generational wealth by closing the digital divide. You'll learn more a little bit later. Nice to meet you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Ahern. I'm a co-founder and COO of Repairs First Association and Gadget Repair Expo. And I do want to throw a little bit of a shout out to Nicole joining the association. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole has come on board our board of directors and as our CTO and doing a fantastic job. So wanted to give her a little bit of praise for that. So thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So we left off with Brian just in time as Brad now, right? Go ahead.
Yep, Brad's next.
Sorry, guys. Hey, everybody. I'm Brad Broom, co-founder with Repairs First and also vendor relations with the Gadget Repair Expo.
Somebody has a very loud background.
Yeah, someone mute their mic.
Mute yourself.
Thank you.
Who's loud? Who's got a background right now? Okay.
To finish myself again,
go ahead.
Congrats. We've got us a new RFA member, and we are very excited about it. The road's ahead. So.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
All right. We'll keep going.
Who's next? Jeremy, go ahead. Jeremy. You're on mute.
There we go. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Good.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. I'm Jeremy Kwiatkowski. I'm the original founder of the cell phone repair industry and the founder of CPR Cell Phone Repair. Some folks call me the Godfather. So, and very excited to be here. I'm also director of the Gadget Repair Expo. And in part of this call, what we're doing here today is essentially trying to get the word out about sales in your repair store. And I think this is such a vital thing that I've been preaching it and teaching it for years and years. Your repair shop should not be just about repairs. It really needs to be about sales first, because honestly, you got to sell the repair. You got to be sales first and then repair. So the part of this conversation, I'd like to also kind of get into some of the details of how our best business practices kind of revolve around that to our each individual success. I know there's some folks here that have some really successful stores, and as I did at one point, I had over 300 stores underneath on my CPR days, and 8 of my own, which Brad and I were partners on. So key to success is sales. Number one is sales. Number 2 is repairs. So how do you get to the sales process? All of us obviously are excited to talk about that. And, part of this process of these calls and these live calls is really getting people to understand Gadget Repair Expo is different. We want to bring you into the fold and get you out to the conference to understand what these best practices are all about. And if we can bring our knowledge and years of industry, you can see this gray hair. I've been doing this for a long, long time. If we can bring this knowledge into you and pass it down where you can gain success from that, we've won. And that's our whole goal here. We're not trying to make this a big money-making endeavor. Yes, we're going to make a little bit of money on it, and that makes it worthwhile. But the second point I want to make is it's all about passing on the torch and allowing other folks to take a little less pain than we took, which was a lot over the last 25 years that I've been doing this, and handing you some of the best practices that can allow you to kind of jump ahead of the line and really create some best practices and some success success around your stores. So that's the key
Tongue-tied a little.
to what this call is about and what we're doing here.
Great. That's
Nice.
awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That was great. Yeah, I cannot wait for the expo. It's going to be so great. I think we just had Brandon French join. We've got Charles, who has not introduced themselves yet.
I think
Charles.
Charles, go ahead.
Great.
Yep,
And then we'll
Charles is
have
next.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Charles Davis from California. I've been in the cell phone repair and industry for about 14 to 15 years now. Started off in my garage. Had my first store 13 years ago. I literally had my first store with nothing at all. Didn't even have electricity when I had my first store. Used my first repair to walk down to the TID office, the electricity office, and pay my deposit and get that turned on, and kind of never looked back. Went to 7 stores. Now currently I've downsized to better be more horizontal and go and engulf in other endeavors. And now I have 3 stores. I am a business specialist. I do funding as well as specialize in financial literacy and turning liabilities into assets. And so I'm looking forward to add value whenever I can, and looking forward to seeing you all at the expo.
Yeah, you're going to be talking about credit and all of that, so I can't wait.
Absolutely.
All right, go ahead, Brandon. How about you?
Brandon in the house.
Brandon is back.
Yeah, I want to talk about credit too, right? Like I want to talk about the credit worthiness of our customers, and you guys know that sometimes it's really hard to get customers the credit they deserve. So I want to talk about a little bit about buying power for your customers, and how much more revenue could you bring to your store if your customers had extra buying power in their pocket. If they had extra money to spend in their pocket that they could only spend at your store, how much more money would you make? And so that's where PayVantage comes in. Love to talk about it. I've got a lot of history and experience in this industry. We had about 10 stores for about 10 years. And so I know the frontline feel. I know the struggles and the obstacles that we face every day. So, I mean, like a lot of people on this call, we're not really one-dimensional. I believe everybody on this call and everybody that you'll meet can add value to your business and into what you're doing day to day in lots of facets, lots of dimensions, because we've all been there. We've all done it. And I can talk more than just about financing and about credit, but I may not know as much as Ahmed, but I can talk to you about marketing because I've done that, right? I may not know much as some of these guys about repairs, but I can talk to you about, LCD refurbishing strategies because I've done that. So, yeah, I'd love to talk about financing, but I'm available and I'm willing to talk about anything because we've got the experience, and I think that's the benefit of this panel and this group of people is everybody here has tons of experience and lots of facets and dimensions to our expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Thanks.
I just want to add one small thing. Thank you, Brandon. That's great, and thanks, Charles. I love what you said, Jeremy. Sell to repair. That's going to be my session's name, by the way. Sell to repair. It's seriously, you sell everything, no matter what you do, you're selling. That's an awesome.
Let me make a point here. I think, and looking at what you're saying is, too often we find that customers want to haggle with us, and so you really got to recognize that sales has to start from the very first second they see your store.
Sure.
To your point on marketing. Brandon and Ahmed, it starts online, and then they call you, and then if nobody picks up the phone, you've already lost all those dollars that you invested in marketing. That's number one. Number two, they actually make it to your store, and they see that you got trash outside, or the windows are dirty, or nobody's washed the windows in months. The floor's not mopped, and it doesn't smell good when they walk in, or they don't hear some nice music in the background, and the clerks don't have uniforms on. All these things lead to a culture that is negative, that requires the customer to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to haggle. If he gives me a $39 price, I'm going to ask him to do it for 20 because obviously it looks like the shop is struggling. You can be the busiest shop in the world, but you really have to take a step back and look at what the customer sees when they walk in. Do you have any branding? That's important. All of us love our names. This is why, being part of the RFA is so exciting is, we're trying to bring these folks together under a common header of franchise support without the franchise fees. Well, we also want them to understand that their brand is important. their particular brand is so important that when that customer comes into your shop and they see a beautiful store and you've obviously invested time and energy and to make sure it's clean and the employees are looking good, you also want them to see their brand. Where's your brand? Where's your business card? Do you have, like Nerd It Now, do you have that splashed across your back wall? What are you displaying there that the customer can take with them and promote you as they leave your shop? So, part of the process of sales is first impression is so vital. That's number one. So we just got to remember that the customers don't walk in the back door. They walk in the front door. Do you really want them to see your technician? Really got to ask yourself this. And this is one of the things that we did for years is we stopped the technicians from walking out front and dealing with customers. And we hired from salesperson perspective and trained them to do minor repairs and to basically supplement that genius that you've got in the back, but interrupting them while they're trying to do a solder job and they got the microscope and all that. Now we got to pick up the phone. What? They're going to pick up that phone very effectively. They're not going to walk up front and be effective at any kind of sales process. And that's what you got to look at too. Is number two is who is actually interfacing with the customer. And if that person doesn't have the time or the energy or even the skill set, then you've got two problems already. You have a first impression problem and you have a sales problem. And that, my friends, is huge because we can spend all the money we want on marketing. And we got some geniuses as part of this panel here that are in marketing. We can spend all the money in devices, but if you fail those two processes, you're not going to get to step three. So we'll talk about step three in a minute, but I just want to key that up as part of y'all's conversation in regards to marketing and et cetera.
Right. I love it. I think maybe we should each of us maybe say 2 tips, just kind of go around the panel and maybe, I know a lot of us have little secrets and things that we know about. Oops, there we go. Charles is back. So what do we think about that? So Ahmed, do you want to go first?
I'm
Just
very
give like
impressed.
2 tips, how about, let's
Can you
hear
hear
from
me?
Nerd It Now because you guys do R2 and all types of stuff. So let's hear 2 of your top sales tips or operation tips that help your business.
First,
Go ahead.
no,
Go for
I mean,
it.
go. You're fine.
I just want to say this is very important. What Jeremy said, the first impression when they walk into your door, greet them, make sure that the stores look clean, the walkthrough, whatever. Even restaurants. Let's take as a restaurant. When we go to restaurants, sometimes we get aggravated. We're waiting, but the hostess has to walk us to our table. That's a luxury walk. You feel like you're important. Someone got you there, gave you the menu, made you feel important, and then the waitress will come and get you your things, and then the water and all these things. All this is here process. It doesn't happen just because of that. Same thing in your store, in your repair shop. When someone walk in, how you doing, sir? The 3 steps rules. 1, 2, 3. Someone gonna recognize someone is there. You welcome them. I'll be right there with you, sir. I will be right there with you, ma'am. Something like this. So it's very important. The first impression is important. Have you ever walked into a place and nobody paid attention to you? You just turn around and walk out because people neglected you, ignored you. That's very important. So the training start from the first step to the store. What your staff need to do, and so on and so on. Go ahead now. I'll add later.
All right. And when I think about Nerd It Now, how we were able to get to that sales process is a little bit abstract from what we're saying right now, but I believe that what we're saying now is definitely a backbone. We started with the why. Why do you even want to deal with our company? To buy yourself a little bit of grace. It bought us grace by focusing on our why, and our why was the community, giving back to the community, which has given so much to us. We focused on a community give back, and the moment we did that, that right there helped us sell what we needed to sell, how we needed to sell, to scale to what we wanted to be. So over the past 7 years, we 2015 and 2019 donated 538 computers. 2020, 2021, 10,000 computers. And people are looking at us like, well, wait, where does that equate to sales? Well, you know why we're doing it. We want to give back to our community. Therefore, you want to do business with us, which then equates to sales. Now, if my store looked crazy without a decent presence, you probably would walk elsewhere. So you definitely need that. But don't forget why you're doing it and relating that to your community to make sure you're connecting, because we're all in the same industry. You're going to come to us for different reasons. You need to differentiate yourself with your why. and you'll find that thing that'll get you there. And then secondly, man, find something that's crazy. What is your signature? We started off with the craziest of crazy. Back in 2015, I bought a 1986 Ford E350 Baltimore Ravens tailgating ambulance, and people thought I was crazy. Crazy. I don't even like the Baltimore Ravens, but I thought it was an amazing little thing we're gonna do. We bought this ambulance. I said, this is gonna be our future. It never worked, absolutely never worked. But that right there was enough to give me a little bit of a runway with my why. Giving back to the community a little bit of this ambulance. And after 2 years, we bought a much newer ambulance. And that same ambulance got us on Shark Tank. My why, my crazy, brought it together, and here you go, making sales time after time after time after again. Those are my two little tidbits.
That's such a good point. I just want to say something about that. You really have to ask yourself why you're doing this as an owner. Why are you doing this? It's not just to make money. I mean, all of us are here to make money, but why are you doing this? And and I'm really understanding. People you hear this culture. What's my culture? What's the culture of my business? And really find out what that culture is. And maybe we can give some tips on this a little bit later in this call. But I think that's vital. That's awesome to hear. I love that. That energy is fantastic.
Thank you.
Hey guys, my 2 tips real quick is going to be once the customer sees the appearance, the next thing for the sales rep is going to be help. To help, it's always vital to help before sell. You don't want it to come off as a pushy, greedy a sales guy or gal. It's you always want to help, because once you help, you gain trust, and it's all keywords. It's trust. It's you gain a base, a following. You do things like you even remember their names, remember the stories they said before, and then once you actually remember things like that, sales, well, people just keep to coming back to your store. Another thing is phone calls. Phones are vital. So it's like you have to make a point to catch each and every single phone call. Never ever be in a horrible mood once you answer that phone call, because people can feel vibes. If you have the wrong vibe, they're not going to come. They will not come to your store. So that's my 2
You can
quick
give them the
steps.
best price that they ever heard of, but you sound like
Yes.
a jerk on the phone. They don't want to
Jerk.
see.
I will not give you the time. Well, Ahmed said it as far as like to going in to eat. It's like if you're treated like crap, I'm not gonna. Your tip's gonna be
Well, Brad,
bad.
one of the things I know, I've worked with you for years, so I know this. But one of the things on the phone call that you always try to do is make sure they had a couple value adds as part of that phone conversation. One is it's not just the price, but it's also what else
warranty.
Give us a little bit about that.
The warranty time frame. I go ahead and let them know everything they need to know. So they're already set up. As far as, hey, I've got it in stock. We can have it done for you. No sweat. Within 30 minutes to an hour. It's key to use words like no sweat. We got it. No problem.
We'll take
it'll
care
be
of you.
quick.
We'll help you.
And also, it's huge to also like say if a lady calls and, hey, I dropped my phone today, and it's always good to say, oh gosh, that's horrible. I got you.
Yes.
It's just you just gotta feel the phone call. Feel it.
Sympathy and empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the guy says dude to me, tell him dude back a couple times.
Yeah,
that's what he wants to hear. You have to mirror the customers a little bit to give them comfort.
We'll get you back
the
in
warranty
business.
thing is so vital, Brad. You brought that up. The warranty is part of that call. Like a lot of us worried that we've got to give them the right price, but the fact that we can actually do it and we can provide at least maybe a 6-month warranty in the process, that's so vital, because they're comparing you not only to price, but what's the back end going to look like? What are you going to do for me later, just in case there's an issue? And I think so many shops that we could compare ourselves to don't do that. They'll say, oh, it's $69 for that LCD, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but, well, if you can tell them it's $79, but they get a 6-month warranty with that, you don't have to worry about beating their price. You just have to beat them on the service. And you've already done that by the phone call. So Brad's point, that phone call is almost the most vital interaction you're ever going to get as part of this process. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Who was next?
I'm
I
done.
lost count.
Charles, you're muted.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
All right, great. So there's a lot of steps to the sales process, but a couple things that I think that sets me apart in terms of sales is for one, building relationships with customers. So like I build rapport, like in any level of business that I do, I'm able to build rapport like very, very fast within the first couple of minutes or seconds of meeting somebody. And so building that rapport and also building the relationship. Somebody mentioned that, hey, remembering small things about them, actually asking them questions and actually caring about what they say, looking them in their eyes, and greeting them and making them feel like family. I've had a lot of return customers, and I haven't had to put so much into advertising because one customer tells another customer, and that word of mouth just spreads like wildfire. So building rapport and building relationships have been some of my best attributes that have led me to having success in sales. And then the other thing that I probably say is having strong systems and a sales system, sales scripts, or sales process from the customer walks in, whether it's in person or on the phone. So I know I do it and I continually do it, but I'm improving my employee steps so that when somebody calls in, they have somewhat of a canned response until what they say. And also when they don't just answer that question that a customer has, they actually give them and add value in a very short period of time. So they don't just say, hey, this is the cost of the repair. But like you mentioned, this is how much the repair costs. This is the type of screen that we use. This is our process, how long our process takes. And this is the type of guarantee that we have along with that. Having that whole canned response leads to a high level of sales. I trained one of my employees last week, and he went in, and I was wondering why we get so many calls at this store, but he wasn't closing a lot of the calls, meaning people weren't coming in after the call. And I go, what's going on? Tell me what you say to a customer when they call. And they just said, hey, I just say the price or whatever, and the customer hangs up. And then I said, okay, ask me how that goes. And I was able to go ahead and within that first, 20 seconds or 30 seconds, gave that value, answered questions for the customer before they even asked the question. And as a result, my closing rate over the phone is probably closer to 80 or 90%. So you best believe if somebody calls me on the phone, 90% of the time, they're going to be walking in the door as opposed to just continuing to shop around. I give that customer no other reason to shop around at any other store within that first 20 seconds of a phone call.
One of the things to try to do that's some great advice. One of the things to try to do as part of that phone call is I always say, come in and ask for Jeremy, right? That's me. And then they feel special that way. Like maybe they're cutting ahead of the line. They're not really sure, but they've now made a personal connection. And I think that's important, as what you said, rapport is so vital. And that's some great advice. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Let's hear from Brandon. Brandon, give us your tips.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So who just spoke before me? Was that Charles?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes.
going to follow Charles on all my social media because that right there, that struck me right there. I felt that when he was talking. That's some good salesmanship advice right there. And honestly, even though I know all that, I needed to hear that. I needed that refresher. So same message goes out to everyone listening to this. You think you know all this stuff, but sometimes you just need the refresher, right? The rapport, the relationship. At the end of the day, why they come into your store, it's because you're the expert. You have the relationship. You have developed the rapport because they know you're the expert, right? So use that to your advantage. I love that. And so I'm going to piggyback off what he said on the canned messages. One of the best things we ever did was kind of bundle some canned bundles together for every one of our repair customers, right? So every time somebody would come in, we would kind of have a gold, silver, and bronze level bundle that we would pitch to every single customer. Even if it only worked half the time, it was a great value add for the customers, huge margin items for our own stores. And so we had these canned messages that literally were delivered every time. And we saw a great success with that. So that'd be my number one. It sounds simple, but get you some nice little laminated posters or something that talks about your bundles that you sell with every repair. You'd be surprised how far you can go with that. And then number two, and this is always my go-to, guys. It's kind of a little bit of a plug back to what my industry. Qualify the customer, right? It's really hard to sell $1,000 iPhone 13s to people that don't have $1,000, right? Why would you waste all your time selling your highest price and highest margin items in the store if the customer isn't qualified to make that purchase? Do what you can to qualify those customers. Ask those qualifying questions. If you have a company that you can get financing and buying power for that customer, you can make those qualifying questions much easier, and you know immediately where you can go, what you can sell, how much margin you can make, and make more money in less time. So, yes.
Right. I want to add something. So a couple weeks ago, we go out to multi-unit owners, sometimes single owners. We go out to stores, we evaluate employees, we evaluate processes, and we give recommendations for changes. And some of the top issues that I see is, number one, your employees don't know how to deal with married couples or the opposite gender. Also, like gender neutrality and not knowing how to address people properly. And then how to handle a customer when they are upset or being put on the spot. And so I feel like it's really, really important that you develop some sort of internal sales training process, or become a Repairs First member, just a little plug. Because you need to have a training that they take. I see a lot of people will hire someone, oh, you know how to repair? Okay, you have experience, good, here's your job, plop. But you don't sit them down and walk them through a process of training, a progression of training. Training cannot be just drops here and there, which is okay, but you need that after you've delivered a progressive training that they're learning in concentration when they're first hired. This is especially important for multi-unit owners who have multi-location owners. So then the brand standard is withheld, right? Because I find a lot that what'll happen is a store owner will have 30 locations. Somebody gets hired, they send them to the location's training them. So if the location does not maintain the brand standard, what you get is everything's a little different at every store. And so you want to make sure that you develop that training. So I would say, make sure right now, if you don't have a sales training or an onboarding training, sit down and develop that and build that out, or become a member, because we include that. We have trainings, we have all of this for you. Or and make sure in your training that you include gender, how to handle that, how to address people, how to handle married couples, how to manage when someone is upset with you. I've literally sat in a store and watched an employee on a camera literally drop the ball when a customer is upset and just blurt out words because they're uncomfortable and they don't know what to do. You have to help them, prepare them for that if you can, So that's what I would say.
Let me just add a quick point in what Nicole's saying is there's some great tools out there. You can, through Google, you can have a Google phone number so that every call coming in as part of your marketing efforts can be through a phone number that actually records a conversation between your staff and a customer. This is great for catching little, nuances and then you're going to realize that, whoa, these conversations are horrible, or they're very good, or they could use some improvement. And sharing that with your team is vital. It's nothing like having them listen to themselves on a phone call. That can really go a long way to them. How do I do better? It's not about slapping them down and, you're terrible. It's more about, let me show you how we can improve this process. And to Nicole's point, get them on with some training. RFA offers some fantastic stuff. And you can get their employee to sit down and go through some training about how to run a cell phone repair store. That's actually really so important. It's absolutely vital. Who you have in the front interfacing. Brian, you've managed a number of stores. I know you got some great advice.
I'm sorry. Someone just wrote a Facebook user.
So I wanted to address that, so I posted it up there.
Okay, because I wanted to say, if you look right now in the screen, forget color.
Mm-hmm.
There's 7 men and 1 woman. I don't know how many people speak different languages, but a great selling point for me is 你有什么事？你要我帮你哈？我可以帮你过来，我可以收你的手机。I speak a different language, Mandarin. So you gotta find different people from different languages. But a really big important thing is like gender. There's not enough women here, and it's really difficult. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
see you down there. There's not enough women in our industry, the tech industry.
Right.
And when I talk about my ecosystem, Nerdit, we focus on three things. One, I want 40% women. 40%, people say, well, not 50-50. Man, I could barely hit
Barely.
20%. Barely could hit 20%. Let's get to 40 so I can figure out how to get to 50%.
Mhm.
I want 80% minority. People are like, oh, you want a whole bunch of black. I'm a black man, but no, I want minority.
Mhm.
Minority in thought and religion and culture and everything. Minority, leaning a little bit more towards like color, but still
Right.
minority. And 90%, let's find people who came from no opportunity, 10 if eligible, and or justice involved. These are two big demographics that nobody's giving opportunity to, yet sometimes they have the best drive power to make things happen. I have family who've been in jail for a long time for some drug stuff, and they know how to sell better than anybody.
Right.
Justice involved. I
Right.
need people that come from poor neighborhoods like me.
Mhm.
And look at me now. We have drive. We got to create diversity if we're going to be a better seller and be a better partner for our community. So I'm sorry, I saw that and it just got me on this little tangent right now. But there's only one woman. Us men, we should be embarrassed. It's embarrassing in the
Right.
tech industry to not have more women and diversity of thought, culture, religion, everything.
Yeah.
No, I can
Thank
give you an example here. Brad and I owned a store in Rome, Georgia for a number of years. And now my daughter and his daughter own this store. And they are far more successful than we were. And, yeah.
They didn't listen
This
to
is a
a single
fact.
word.
I have a question. What language did you speak a minute ago?
I'm sorry, I speak in Mandarin. I lived in China for 5 years, so I speak.
Look at you. Oh man! All right.
No problem in
I was like, I had to adjust my ear for a second.
I said, if you want, what problem do you have? You want me to help you? Don't worry. Come on, bring your cell phone. I'll fix it right now. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry.
And I bet you that whatever you speak, it helps your business because people feel more comfortable.
Business. Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay. No, you touched a lot of good stuff, man. I love what you said. It's absolutely, we have one woman on the call. We could have been having more diversity, all the good stuff that you said. That means a lot.
Can I add something about the woman part?
Go for it.
While we are live, because I really want to touch on this. Because I do talk to women that are entering the industry, and I want them to know the men in the industry will support you. There are a ton. I mean, I've been in a lot of different industries over the years, and this is the biggest support I've ever received from an industry. And that's why I've been able to be so successful. And it's always been men. And I do feel like women may say, well, I don't look good enough to be in front of a camera. I don't look this way, but you don't have to do that. And you also don't have to present yourself in that way. You don't have to be all made up, showing things and being inappropriate and feel like you have to somehow, the men need to like you in a way to promote you. You can just get respect and show your quality and your value, and they will respect you and promote you and support you. It's nothing like that at all. And I just wish that more women understood that you can be accepted for you. You don't have to be like Instagram model to be able to be successful in this industry. The men will support you, and they will. If you've got a great idea and you're great at what you do, they're not gonna hold you down. It's not that way. That perception is really wrong. There are some out there, but I've dealt with a big part of this industry, and everybody has been very supportive.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Charles. Are you saying something?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was saying a password to my employee. I didn't have my mic muted. Sorry.
It's okay. We heard the password. No, this is awesome. Thank you, Nicole. No, that's absolutely. We are here to support every female, every woman want to join the industry 100%. As a matter of fact, we're calling for all the ladies. Come on in, join the industry, and we will definitely be here 100%
Yeah, we got Shura. She's going to be doing she is a Black woman. She's going to be doing a demo for Wash Refurb at the expo. And we came to
she's
her
amazing.
and said, we want to give you that platform and that hour. We want you both days there. And we did that intentionally, want to support. We are showing support. It's not that we don't see the gaps. We just need to fill them and find the people to fill them. So make yourself visible. Stop hiding and make yourself visible and be here, professional, you know?
Yep. And don't be hard on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just come on in and join. I want to just bring up a little bit about the Gadget Expo, the Gadget Repair Expo. It's getting closer. I know we're going to a show very soon in Vegas, but now we have the repair one that designed and created for this industry. Let me give this to Jeremy. Jeremy, give us some of the tips or some good stuff coming in there. I know some of it, but I like to hear it from you. It sounds better.
What's not announced yet?
Yeah.
One more week.
There's so many things I'd love to tell about what's going to be happening, but essentially the gist of it is that this is about your success. Come to the Gadget Repair Expo and meet with us, network with us, and explore the ways that we can all improve. I mean, every single one of us learns something when we attend one of these. I don't care how long I've been in the industry, and Charles, you've been in the industry a long time. And Brandon, you've been in the industry a long time. Nicole, Ahmed, all of us have been in the industry a ton. And every time I attend, I learn something from somebody that's done it better, than somebody that is doing it better. But that's okay, because that's how you improve your best practices. Best practices is a benchmark that you're hopefully continue to raise that bar. And by attending the Gadget Repair Expo, we intend to bring speakers that are really talking about the things that matter to you in this industry. We intend to bring out vendors that, we've got some phenomenal vendors that are really to expand your thought process, not just about repair parts. We have some fantastic repair parts vendors. We also have some fantastic partners like Brandon here on the call, who also provides financing for gadgets for sale in your store. And we should talk about that, as well as, let's diversify our product offering. It shouldn't just be about repairs. What else are you doing in your store to promote increased revenue? And you hear the word verticals all the time. What are the additional verticals in your shop? And the verticals just simply are, what are the additional revenue streams that you can add, whether it be laptops, computer repairs, or, gadgets for sale or accessories. And we intend to have all these types of different vendors out there that you can explore different avenues to increase your revenue in your stores. On top of that, we have some incredible demos from some folks that are, wow, they're amazing. They will show you things, the tools that you can use that increase revenue on the back end of your store, not just the front end, but the other two processes I really want us to think about is almost a separation here between the front of your store and the back of your store. How can you increase productivity? How do you do repairs better? How do you not turn down repairs? That's how you do it. You come out to Gadget Repair Expo, you explore and see these demos in person and understand and shake the hands of these guys that are doing this stuff, whether it be refurbishing, whether it be micro soldering. Get out there and really investigate this business and what we do in different facets that will increase your revenue. That's what it comes down to. How can we put these best practices into place, whether it be from repair or sales, and come away from the Gadget Repair Expo going, wow, I have a list of things I'm going to bring back, and I'm going to put them in place right away. But I'm also going to reach out to Nicole and Brad and Brian and Brandon and Charles and Ahmed, and I'm gonna work through how I can improve these processes, because all of us are you can call any of us and go, hey, can I lean on you a little bit? And not only are we guys that are trying to assist you, but we're also mentors too. So we love to do that. And so I could say that's all about the culture of the Gadget Repair Expo. It's all about how can we help. To Brad's word earlier, it's not just customers, but how can we help each other? Step up. And I think that's what makes me so excited. I could talk about Gadget Repair Expo forever. But honestly, that's what it's about. All the exciting things that are happening on top of that that we can't really talk about yet. I know that Nicole's ready to mute me, like,
I'm like, I got the button on
cut me
the
right out. But
Yeah.
talk about.
Okay,
All right, hold on.
We've got all kinds of cool things going to be happening
I'll let
there.
you
We
know.
cannot wait to introduce to everybody. But
Next week.
that's it in a
Next
nutshell.
week,
Thank you,
baby.
Robin.
We have another big
All right.
announcement, Brian.
All right. Well, hold on.
Brian?
Not yet. Speaking of things that that didn't get done, the two tips that I have. By
there
the
we
way,
go.
yeah, I've been waiting. Charles, I've never spoken with you on the phone that I can recall. I'm gonna call you out for a second, if you don't mind. In your shop,
No problem.
how many repairs can an average technician complete in an average day?
15 or so.
15. Okay. All right. So what would you say to somebody that is doing 5-8 repairs a day and says they don't have time to clean their store?
I'd go back down to the process and figure out together, instead of dictating, yes, you can. I'd go and find out, how long does it take to do a repair? Since I do repairs myself, maybe I'll sit down with them and actually do a repair in half the time that I expect them to do it. So therefore, if I can do 4 an hour, it's understandable that they can do, half that in an hour. And I'll make sure I take the steps to train them together, work side by side with them to see if they can match at least a fraction of the speed that I have with that same accuracy and attention to detail. So I think if I'm a firm believer that if I can't do it myself, I'm not going to have somebody else do it. So if I can show them that an average person can do it, myself can do it in half that time, then there's no reason why they can't do it. And on top of that, still be able to keep the shop clean.
And what would you say is the average ticket on a repair in your shop?
It's about $90.
About $90. Okay. So my first tip is be aware. Okay. If you took, and I'm just doing this on my calculator right now because you gave me a little bit different numbers than what I had when I had my 9. I had 9 locations and I went through this same exercise. If you have, if an average technician should do 15 repairs a day times $90 profit or $90 total sales, that's $1,350. Now, how many days a week is the average shop open? 6, 5? Just say 6. 6 times 4, 24. So take $1,350 times 24. That gets you $32,400 in revenue. And that's not your cost of goods. That's not your margin or anything. But what that shows you is that if you're a single unit operator, if you're not generating approximately $32,000 to $35,000 a month in revenue just off of one technician, then you have time to do a lot of the things. In addition to that, in my locations that I had, we had 2.5 employees per location. Our average location was generating, this is even before we started doing repair device sales, approximately $50,000 a month in revenue at about a 25% cost of goods. Okay. So my awareness is that if you're not doing on an average of 15 repairs a day, and if you're in a community that has at least 35,000 people in it, keep in mind 70%. There's a recent study that came out. I think the Tech Care Association had put this out recently. He did some research. Approximately 70% of the population does not even know their phone can be fixed. Okay. And so if we're not, if we're not at that level, then be aware that there is more revenue, more money out there, and there's better ways to do it. And I love your example at what you gave about, the front of the house, the back of the house, and whatnot. So my first tip is be aware. There's more where you're at. You're not a sinking ship. This industry is still very, very strong. Apple has been playing games since long before the iPhone 5 came out. We have been dealing with this for years and years and years. I'm 51 years old. I've been, I started in the electronics industry with Jeremy at CPR. I was a vice president of CPR. After that, I was a vice president of Phone Medic. And this is what I learned. And the second tip I will give you, and I wrote it down while you guys were talking because I wanted to make sure I said it correctly. Okay. You must, as a repair shop owner or a shop owner or a business owner, no matter what industry you're in, you must lead by example. I'm going to read you what I wrote just a few minutes ago. Whether you've had a leadership role in your prior career or not, you have one now. Leadership means several things, including leading by example by meeting your own expectations. As an owner of a shop, your actions are under a microscope. Under a microscope, people, every single day. You're out in the community. People, you're a business owner. You're not just somebody working for McDonald's. You are representing your company. You're under a microscope all the time. Failing to not execute any procedure will mean that the same for your team. If you're not going to do it, like what you said, Charles, you're not going to do something. You're not going to ask your team to do something that you will not do yourself. Okay, and that's a perfect example. As a business owner, you got to lead by example in everything from excellence to the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you walk, best practices, your sales. Be on time, be punctual, don't be late. And your team will want to please you or want to do better because they know they're going to get something back out of it. And that is they're going to have a really good paying job and have a good career with you. And when you really love what you're doing, just like me with the association and the gadget repair, it's not a job for me. I wake up and have fun every day. If I wouldn't have fun, I would not be on this call right now. If I wasn't having fun, I don't think anybody on this call, if we weren't having fun at what we're doing, we wouldn't be doing this. And so my second tip is going to be lead by example. And to follow that up with this, if you walk into a room and you're the smartest person in that room, you're in the wrong room. Pick a different room. I'm not the smartest one in this room by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you guys are geniuses, and Charles, I'd love to talk to you more. You might be able to rub off a little bit on me, on some of my things, and everybody on this call. And that's what the Gadget Repair Expo is all about. You're coming there, you're meeting with people who've been there, done that, or are still doing it today. They have a T-shirt or they have a long LinkedIn profile of all the successes, and you're rubbing elbows with people, whether they're the master of all arts like Tony Baker over here, or whether they're he just popped in, or whether they're another repair shop owner. So when you come here, when you come to the expo, you're coming to meet other like-minded people that want to see you succeed. And we don't care if your shop is a mile down the road from mine or not. I don't care. You're not my competition. I'm not competing against you. I'm competing for that customer. Okay. Brad when it comes to pricing, I know this, I said two, but I got one more. Brad had a very good saying that he coined, and I think Jeremy, you may have mentioned it first. I don't know, but Brad's stuck it in my mind. When the customer comes into your shop, if your shop is looking nice and you got your customer service going on and your people look nice, don't drop your pants, raise your price.
Right.
Okay? Don't drop your price. I said that wrong. Don't drop your don't drop it. Don't drop your pants.
Or is that wrong? I don't know.
Don't drop your price.
I heard the pants in this conversation.
I heard pants and it dropped. Yeah.
But when you drop your price, you're effectively dropping your pants. Okay, I mean metaphorically speaking. So don't lower your price. Raise your customer service. Okay.
Thank you, Brian. That's a great tip.
Give more value. Give more value. Exactly.
We were going to do some sort of giveaways during the.
Yeah. So I haven't. I'm going to throw this out there. I'm sure that I'll get yelled at if it was wrong, but I'm going to give you guys an email address. It is info.
No, can we just put comment live instead, because they need to be on the live. We're only doing this on the live.
Well, yeah, but I need to give them a code, or Jeremy does, or Brad does, or you do.
Well, we won't know if they're on live. So if they comment, we can reach out to them.
Well, that's fine. Either they comment or they can, however you want to do it. People that are on this call, I got 10 free tickets to the expo to give away. 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you comment below, Expo Ticket Live,
Okay.
and we will see that we were live, and we will reach out to you on that platform. So keep an eye out for our message and we'll get you that code. But you've got to be on the live. We've got 9 people on one platform watching. It only shows us one. So we've got 8 platforms live right now. So there's probably at least 50, 60 people watching. So Expo Ticket Live, first one just came through. So if you want your ticket, we will go find you. Okay. We got another one. So the reason your name isn't showing is because you're probably just watching. You're not actually clicked on it. So, but we will find your comment and we will message you. But you also know Brian, Jeremy, Brad, me, Ahmed. You know all of us. You can be like, hey, that was my comment. Please send me my ticket. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if something happens, just shoot us an email. If we didn't respond to you, we can match it
gotta
back
show
up
us
to
that
the
you were
comment
live. You do not get it after. You have to be on these lives.
on the live
okay?
call.
On the live call only.
That's $1,000 in free tickets giveaway just for being on this call.
Just for being
Guys,
on this call.
let's hear from Tony. Tony's back again. He's in.
Thank you, Tony.
Tony's overseas, and he made sure that he joined the call. Tony,
So
go
important.
ahead. How's it?
Here I am.
Okay, when
I'm
are you
back.
going to go back
Can you hear
to the
me?
US?
Yes.
When are you coming back?
I'm coming back in about a week.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
About a week.
I
love the way you vacation. That's
it's
awesome.
getting ridiculous.
I'm staying here. It's a third world country, but it's being running. I'm planning to stay here.
I know.
We heard you wrong. You are not.
I don't know if my service is.
You better come back.
It's pretty
They
bad.
are on 5G in the US. They are on 1.5G. Where he at?
No, I'm coming back. I'll be back.
Okay.
You'll see me in Vegas. You'll see me in Vegas on the 15th.
And San Antonio.
Yep. So,
The expo.
huh?
I said we'll see you at the expo.
Pretty bad. I'm coming out to a different area, so I might have a better service. They're still running on 3G here, so.
Wow.
Well, that's a heck of an opportunity for you. You must have a ton of those phones in the back of your shop. GSM warehouse.
Yep.
All right. Well, Tony has bad service, so we will. Tony is trying to connect. We want to get 2 tips from you, Tony, about sales. Ahmed was muted. There you go.
I know. I was on mute. I was speaking. Nobody's listening to me. I said, where he's at, they're on 2G speed. They just upgraded to 3G.
Interesting.
Is that what it is, Tony? Are you guys on 3G? You just upgraded to 3G.
Where is he?
He's in Middle East.
Nicole, I just fixed something in the back end here. If they enter GREFREE and go to GadgetRepairExpo.com and click on tickets, the actual code for this live call is GREFREE, GREE-free, and they'll get their free ticket right there.
Oh, shoot. GREFREE.
Yep. If they go to GadgetRepairExpo.com, click on tickets, and enter that code, they'll get their ticket for free.
And it's only for how long after the live? For 1 hour, 20 minutes?
Yep, 1 hour. Yep,
1
starting
hour, that's it.
now.
Okay,
Is that in all caps? Is that in all caps?
It can be all caps, all lower's. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
as long as they enter GREFREE.
Brandon, got a question for you, Brandon. One time I was in a group, I was one of these groups, and I saw one client. I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying that. I'm not going to bring up his name, but he said, we're experiencing high call volume. How can I lower these calls? What do you answer that guy?
High call volume. Well, I mean,
he has a lot of customers calling, want his service, and he's getting pissed, and he want to lower these calls. What do you tell this guy? He was a serious question. He was getting pissed off. He has a lot of people calling his store. Tell him what do you think we should tell this guy?
I mean, I would never be pissed off about more people calling my store, but this guy clearly is skewed, right? So hire more people, man. What are you afraid of? If your problem and your bottleneck is capacity, where you have so much business coming to you that you can't handle all of the questions or the tickets or the repairs or the sales, whatever, it's a simple answer. Hire more people and don't be scared to do it, and pay them a good wage. You clearly you got a good problem. And you got enough people. That shouldn't be the bottleneck at all. Never. Too much business. No way.
That's like the goal.
What I could say to that.
Our goal is to get to a point where we are overwhelmed. Most of us start with one person. And
Yes.
you start with one person. Yeah, I got it. And you're like, oh, wait, too much.
I know.
Guys,
you know how
many I had with shop owners who don't want to hire.
I have so many customers. I don't know what to do. Hire people.
I'm so
for God's
busy.
sake.
Hire someone.
Tell your friend, don't worry. Nerded now will happily accept those customers.
You know what? I almost said, What's your number? Why don't you forward the call to the guy next door to you?
Yeah, that's it. That's fine.
Just and your problem is solved.
He'll be
Customers
your
will
friend
not
for
call you
life.
at all.
I'm just like, I talk to shops all the time. That's the problem. And I ask them directly. So do you mean busy is not revenue? Oh, it is. But we just don't, we can't afford to hire someone. But we
Very
get
easy.
calls all day long. We get repairs all day long. We're booked from the
Send-
time we open the, but you can't hire someone.
No,
You
no,
know,
no.
it's
Send them to the
so strange.
competition down the street. Send them forward your call to the competition.
I touched on this a minute ago, guys. I just really want to make this a good point. And this is, you know, I've been in the industry for obviously since my first store in 1995. But the biggest issue we had in the beginning before we become sales centric was having the technicians answer phone calls. And when they're breaking away from a microscope and they're breaking away from a soldering iron and they're breaking away from tiny little screws to pick up a phone, they're irritated. And they're feeding that back to you as an owner going, they're asking a bunch of stupid questions and it's wasting my time. Well, what they don't understand is, and what the owner is not hearing, is that they're not giving that proper customer service to the customer on the phone and evaluating what the real needs are. It's not a stupid question. It's a solution that you need to figure out a way to help them, as the net customer will come in the door. And so I think that the issue is they think all these questions are stupid. Oh, how do I do a data transfer? How do I do this? How do I do that? Don't worry about that. I'll tell you what, come on in here, ask for Jeremy. I'll take care of you. You know, and give them the directions and get them in the store. That's as simple as that. It should not, no call should be an irritation. And I think the sooner you realize that you have to break away from the technician sales and a hybrid guys, we all have hybrids where we got guys that are good at both or gals that are good at both. That's fine. But that's rare. And also they get busy with that one task and then they can't break away. So my word is have a dedicated salesperson. And a lot of owners say, well, I can do that. That's my job. Well, if your job is only worth $10 an hour plus commission, then maybe you should go get a job somewhere else and not be an owner of your store. You need to hire people that can be effective at running front-end sales. They do it day in and day out. And I think it's such a key point. I know that all of us that have stores have successful people up front managing that process. And what happens? They say, well, what happens when it's slow and they don't have anything to do? Well, then they need to make outbound calls and go, hey, how was your repair? Just checking up on it. I know you had your device repaired here a week ago. Oh, and we just want to make sure everything's working fine for you. And you hear the response that comes from people's mouths. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're calling me. Yeah, everything's great. And by the way, do you have any additional devices that might be repaired? We also fix computers and game systems and, you know, TVs, whatever it might be. And you might have, or by the way, we also sell phones. I don't know if you noticed that when you came in, but we have a full case of phones available for purchase or other devices like laptops. So if you need anything, please feel free to reach back out and come in and see us. That was such a successful thing that we did that we never stopped. And that is so important. And only a salesperson really has that bandwidth. The technicians don't have that. They're too busy doing other things that really serious technical skills require. And if you break that away to try to help customers, that's where you get the conversation where I got too many calls coming, I can't handle it. Long
especially
story. Sorry,
yeah, very
okay.
dangerous. Someone handling the call. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. The person who handled the calls was very sensitive because the guy cannot see you. They know you. They feel your voice. Everybody called and asked for something, end up having a special price and maybe something we can do for you. If you're calling for a price of a phone, I'll be like, we have specials today. Why don't you come over? I can show you more stuff than what other options. Accessories, we have buy one get one free. The guy who's calling has a million other options beside me because he's going to hang up the phone from me and pick up and call the next guy. I want to stop that call. I want to stop him from calling anybody else. Or if he has someone else better price than mine, I want to give him more value. Come on in. We'll work with you. We finance. We'll get, we have specials, buy one, get one free. The guy who's calling me is a flying fish. Either I'm going to grab it or someone else is going to take or whatever, flying bird, I mean. So make sure that the phone call get handled by a professional.
Fish do fly too.
What is it? Fish fly? Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's back. Oh, look at your. I can see
He's
you
back
better
and he
now.
has service. Like,
I don't know. He's in an area where they have 4G now.
No, I have LTE right now.
Look at you. How come? Man, there's one tower in town with LTE, and he's sitting right there.
right.
I have to raise my hand though to get better service.
I'm telling you.
With a tinfoil hat on.
I know. I know. No, but I'm telling you guys, it's these customer service calls, like Charles mentioned as well. Very important. I mean, you got to close them on the call. You know, Charles, probably you know what I'm talking about. You got to give them a reason to come in.
Absolutely.
You can't let this guy go away. You can't. And the guy who said too many calls, I'm about to shoot myself. What is wrong with this guy? I need all the calls. I need more calls. I need more calls. I'll hire more people. Yes, sir. We're approaching the hour. I'll leave the rest. Brandon, if you want to say something, or Marcus, did I say your name wrong?
Thank the key of your technological heart, Marquivas.
Marquivas. Sorry about that. Marquivas. Okay. Marquivas. All right. Yeah, this is good. Tony, give us.
Real quick.
Go for it.
Marquivas is going to be at the Gadget Repair Expo as one of our speakers. And Charles, I believe, Charles, are you also?
Yes.
Charles is
Absolutely.
also speaking.
Let's do it.
Tony,
Absolutely.
Brandon.
Yep.
We might let Brian speak. I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know.
He is. He is a panel. He's on a panel.
Brian will be speaking. It's some of the things he knows so well, and operations, talking about P&Ls, profit and loss. It's shocking, and it's part of the sales process as well. Talk about dollars in, right? But dollars out are important as well. And how do you discover whether you're profitable or not? And you'd be surprised how many shops don't even know what a P&L is, and don't even know how to create one.
Right.
And it's so vital. And we do like what we call a live P&L. So all through the month, we're plugging in numbers. We got our fixed numbers. We got our regular numbers that come in that might be unusual, and then we have of course our income. So what we discover is that we might be losing money halfway through the month, and then we go, oh my gosh, I got 2 weeks to come out and do some things, hit the street, close the laptop and hit the blacktop, get out there, do some marketing. Now, one of the things I want to touch on real quick before we end this call, marketing is so vital. You can either do it through the internet, of course, which you got to. You can't escape that. You got to do it through social media, through some great products that Ahmed has. Maybe he won't want to speak about this, but all of us use social media. Remember, we used to use Google, and now we successfully use other social media, which I wish we discovered years ago because it's a heck of a lot cheaper than Google ever was. But second to that was guerrilla marketing. Get out there in your community. I know Marquivas does this. Charles, I'm sure you do it. But you've got to get out there and shake hands with the AT&T store. Bring them some donuts or something, a pizza once in a while. These guys don't send you business for nothing. You gotta stay in their mind, and you drop some cards. Here you go. But then you forget about them for 3 months. Well, guess what? They forget about you too. Their turnover is so great that it requires you to be friends with them. We used to go in their store and we'd buy a car charger. Buy something. I don't care if you don't need a car charger. You get a whole wall from them. Who cares? I walk in there and I'll buy something just to introduce myself to the sales manager, give him a couple cards, shake his hand, say, I just have to be passing through, but by the way, our shop's right up the road. Thank you so much for the business you guys send. Even if they haven't sent you anything, I still thank them because I want them to feel a little bit, oh, well, I don't remember sending any customers. They feel a little bit guilty because, hey, this guy's pretty cool. He's also bringing me some donuts, or he's buying a charger from me, and he's thanking me for some business I've never really sent to him. What can I do to give him some business to make up for that? And this is always a way to break down barriers, but the biggest thing is you got to hit the blacktop. You got to get out there and shake some hands. You got to meet these folks. These are the folks that are going to send you more business than anybody. We could all spend a ton of money on social media, but the people that are really going to refer you business are your stores right around in the area that do not do repairs. Yeah, yes, sir, Tony.
Tony's back again to 2G.
Awesome.
Frozen, straight frozen.
Yeah.
He's back again to the 2G.
He looks like he's paying attention, at least,
What can you
Just
say
looks
about
like
that?
it's intense,
No, like I said, everything we do is
Poor
a lot
Tony.
of marketing and just getting
He's back.
our community. We got to show a presence because without that presence, they're going to go elsewhere. Gotta
Mhm.
stay on top of mind. That right there. I'm gonna a little secret. In the 7 years in business, we have not spent more than $10,000 in like actual marketing. And that $10,000 was to get the front page of a magazine that went to my mom's house every quarter. So she
Oh,
could see us on the front page and say, "That's my baby." Outside of
oh,
that, it's just being in everybody's face, doing a lot of lunches, going to meet with the people in the
Yeah.
community that serves the
Mhm.
community that want to reflect back on the community. I say again, we give back to the community, which has given so much to us. And by staying in everybody's face, it's been so successful for our business,
but
incredibly successful. And you
but
just gotta lean on that.
but
I
you
really agree with that.
but
Charles, what was your point on
Yeah,
that?
I just wanted to jump in and say, when I launch a new store, every time I just launched a new store about 6 months ago, and that's one of the first steps that I do to help that store be successful from the gate is I do a community outreach. I go out and I shake hands with everybody in the community. I go door to door myself. I use little business card stands because they usually work better than just handing them business cards. They tend to last a little bit longer. I go on Amazon and buy 20 to 50 business card stands and grab a stack of them, ask them if I can leave some business cards there, ask for their business cards. I went ahead and left. I made a little thing inside my store, which is kind of like a community board in my store. So I actually pin their business cards and any offers that they have in my store kind of as a mutual favor to them. But by far, that's
Mhm.
one of the most successful launch strategies that I have in any of my stores is going out to the community and spending that first week that we open, just shaking hands and getting in touch with my community.
No, you can easily add. The Chamber of Commerce is a great. It's not that expensive. $300 a year in most cases to join the Chamber of Commerce. Local business groups where businesses get together and they have a couple cocktails. They talk about how they can network and share business with you. That's great from a B2B standpoint. Nicole has a fantastic class on B2B fast track. So for those of us that are saying, well, how do I get more business? How do I, reach out to community? It's two phases as far as I'm concerned. And not only from the customer who just breaks their phone, but also from a B2B standpoint, you want to be out there discovering ways that you can bring in a client that has, 500 employees in the local area, and all of them are breaking phones and devices, and they're out there using those things. One of our biggest clients was a hospital, and we used to get tons of little radios. We got iPads. We got everything they use, their pagers, whatever it was. Some of you are saying, "Oh, this is how old this guy is," but they had pagers still. Just a few years ago, we were repairing their pagers. But that's the key thing. And one of the things we do as a part of our question when we're talking to customers, good sir, yes, I mean, putting their information into the point of sale. And what company do you work with? Oh, I work with the hospital, Floyd Hospital, right down the road. Really? And what do they do with their broken devices? Just curious. Next thing you know, you're talking to the guy that handles that. So if you don't ask questions, you don't get answers, and you don't on the information you ask for is what you're going to get. If you ask for nothing, you're going to get nothing.
You're not getting nothing. Sales is about talking and asking the right questions. Tony,
we had
I want
person
go
already
ahead.
jumped off.
30 more seconds for Tony. Go ahead.
Before I go into a 2G service, referring customers are always the best customers. I want to touch what Charles was saying. These are the customers that's going to come to your store without asking about the price, without negotiating, because someone had already referred them to you. So, going back to what you were saying about going to the AT&T stores, going to Verizon stores, going to Metro PCS stores, go to any prepaid stores that's around you, pass your business cards, give them something, know their names, let them know your name. And these, you can probably survive and make good money just off these kind of businesses, just off these stores. Your store can survive. So just build relationships with local stores around you, and that's a way to keep your store successful and surviving.
I love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tony.
I
Thank you, Tony.
mean, can you take a moment and talk about Upluck and you guys are doing some fantastic stuff. All of us struggle with the social media. I mean, every day I've got to post here and post there, and then you've got some fantastic stuff that kind of automated that process a little bit, don't you?
We finally upgraded our system to the new update, giving the retailers the option to manage their own social media platform exactly like an agency. So they have the same tools, they have the same, they can they can post not only on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business, LinkedIn Personal and Business. So we give them five extra platforms, and we used to do only one. So now we expanded above and beyond. Create your own deals, sweepstakes, get some data, customer data, so you can do direct emailing. 5 different companies with unlimited millions and millions of pictures, unlimited content, basically, and the first shopping cart that you can connect it anywhere. You can send
In
it
seconds.
in seconds. You can
In
create
seconds.
a Shopify store in literally 30 seconds, 30 minutes,
Yeah,
and you
so
will be
fast.
selling, receiving,
That's
and
fantastic.
shipping products. There is a breakthrough that we have. I know we're getting close to the end of the call. We passed the hour, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to give you guys a little bit about it, and I couldn't be any happier. That's why I'm putting a lot. The Gadget Repair Expo has the special of the year. You guys never gonna see, you will see things you've never seen before when it comes to marketing. I'm very excited about it.
Well,
wanna
as owners, we only have so much bandwidth, and I think it's so vital to have some tools at your disposal that you can post on multiple platforms at once. This
Just
is
like that.
vital. As we do our social media, we're not doing this and doing this. You just mentioned sweepstakes. Is that like a contest? Because I'll tell you, one of the most successful things we ever did is we used to do a monthly giveaway, whether an iPhone
Yes.
or an iPad or a game system, and that caused people to share our posts over and over and over and over again as part of our stores. That's what we wanted, is we needed the shares, right? So the likes are great, but we wanted people to share and go, hey, if you share or you like this post, they'll put you into the contest. And that was very, very effective for us.
How are we
so
looking
on
exhibitors and visitors, booth wise? We just want to give the guys, the people that watch is the hype on how many people are coming in. I think so far a lot of tickets are sold, and a lot of exhibitors are pretty much, I think, sold out, right?
Okay, let's answer Tony, since he's far away. Yeah, we're selling a lot. There's a lot of exhibitors. Are you talking about the show? The expo?
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of booths are moving. A lot of tickets are selling. We got a lot of surprises coming in. There is a huge, cool stuff coming in, and a lot of surprises. I don't want to talk about it until 2 weeks from now. We'll be releasing some stuff we're gonna stun you guys.
See Nicole's face with that smile. A lot of good
Right.
things are coming in.
Right. Don't say anything.
I got you.
Okay.
Awesome.
I gotta jump on a call.
We gotta go, yeah.
I know. I don't want to. Brandon dropped, and a couple of people dropped because they have some other things to do. I'll leave Charles, you want to say anything?
Oh, I'll see you guys next week at the Prepaid Expo, and I'll see you, more importantly, at the Gadget Repair Expo in a couple months.
We'll see you soon. Tony, anything
Don't
else
forget
before?
the code, folks. Down here at the bottom, you still got a good half hour left on the free. Get your free ticket. We've already sold, guys. Wow, I'm not going to disclose this, but we've been busy, so that's some good news.
I want to hear the ticket.
People are buying.
Yes,
get your tickets. Get them now.
Free ticket.
Free ticket. Thank you so much.
They're not even buying. They're just getting them. They're getting them quick.
They're getting them free. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. Wednesday, 2 p.m. again.
We'll do it again. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Tony, see you guys.
Bye, Tony. See you guys. Bye, Jim.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Nicole. Bye.
Bye.